crossing the border illegally.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, come on, the gringos are behind us, sort of thing. Like, no, it's not. It's not part of the.
We can't say
I-
that.
I-
Or you
yeah.
can.
You can say it's not racist.
Yeah,
if you
like-
say it.
Oh, I
Intro.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the very first podcast and interview from Remedial Records. I'm Lynn Gannon,
I'm Matt Sturgis,
and we are here interviewing Salvador Cordero.
keyboardist from the Shakes.
Yeah, from the Shakes. Another great band. You should go listen to the crap out of them.
The band that we're in too.
We're also in.
I'm just going to move my chair so it might sound shit.
Just cut it out. Salvador.
How's it going?
That's when you're meant to say
Hello,
something like
Linz
hi.
and Mr. Stalgis. How are you guys going?
Oh, fantastic.
Why does he get Mister?
Because I'm awesome.
Because yeah, it just
Okay.
works that way.
Alright, tell us a little about yourself. Where were you born?
I was born in Puebla, Mexico. Puebla, one of the bigger cities in Mexico. I think it's number 5. Pretty big population. I think it's actually about the same as Sydney.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Quite large.
roughly, but it's a little bit smaller area, so it's a little bit more
Condensed.
congested. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? Like, where's-
Geographically.
Yeah, kind of in the middle of Mexico. It's very close to Mexico City, about 2 hours away, 2-hour drive. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. It's like a massive plateau
Yeah.
surrounded by volcanoes and a couple of mountains, so you get pretty good view.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
That makes Mexico sound pretty badass.
Yeah.
Active volcano.
Active volcano too. Yeah,
Uh.
lately it's actually been really active. There's a couple of emissions.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit scary, but at the same time, yeah, it's alright. It's been active like that since I was born, so
Yeah.
nothing
What
to worry
happens
about.
when like shit goes down?
You can. It's far away enough for you to just look out your window and enjoy the show. I guess it doesn't really affect. There's ash that just flies
Yeah.
through the air and you get all over your car and shit. But other than that, it's
So,
Like
so
a
no
pretty
one
cool
lives
show.
near it.
Well, there's a few villages around, but people there are very stubborn, and they pretty much go, oh, I'm not going away. I'm looking after my animals. Like they have cattle and all that, and they usually stay there. But no one ever dies. It's
No one ever dies.
So it's a
It's
little,
not,
bit better than Tornado Alley in America. It's called Tornado. The people still live there. They moved there deliberately.
Yeah.
So when did you leave Mexico?
Pardon?
When did you leave Mexico? to
When
come
did I
here?
leave?
Yeah.
I moved to Australia in 2011. Was here for a whole year, just studying outdoor recreation up at the Blue Mountains, which was pretty rad course. Did some abseiling, rock climbing, and that was part of my course, which means that it counts as education. And yeah,
That's a pretty big win.
yeah, best way to actually, I don't know, be in school sort of thing, college.
Weren't you like just living at a backpackers? or-
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
lived at a backpackers hostel for about 6 months. That was pretty rad as well. Met a lot of international people and just a lot of weirdos as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of really interesting people. And
Who's your most memorable person?
Yeah, it was the weirdest.
Yeah.
I reckon
You
couple
can,
of
you can
couple
say
of
by name
Irish.
too.
No, couple of Irish girls. And the funny thing about that is that was the very first time that I heard their accent. Never
Mm.
heard an Irish person in my entire life.
Could you understand him?
And no, so well, kind of did. It just felt like their English
Did-
was kind of broken. Like
Didn't you used to play in an Irish pub?
yeah,
in a
but that
couple
was
of
back
things?
in Mexico. In Mexico, there's no Irish, man.
Yeah, but then
So-
you never heard an Irish accent.
No. And
That's weird.
it was very strange because I thought their English was not their first language.
Yeah.
So I was very close to actually asking them, "What's your first language? Where are you from?" And then they, at some stage, they said to someone else, "Oh, we're from Ireland." I'm like, "Holy crap, your English sounds really strange." But that's just because I couldn't understand the accent. It was the same thing when I moved to Australia. Really, like understanding the Aussie accent was a bit of a challenge
Okay.
in the first couple of weeks because I learned American English sort of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I reckon I picked it up quite well, and yeah, it's
You can
way
barely
easier to
tell.
understand. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
barely tell you're not from here.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I'm Mexican. I'm white and tall. I was raised in the shade as well.
Yeah,
So-
How long have you spoke English?
Well, I've been learning English since I was just I guess in preschool, but it was
Yeah.
never serious. It was assignment
your
something to
first
you for
language,
school. Oh, first
throughout
language
school?
would be first language would be Spanish,
Yeah.
and like throughout pretty much your whole education you learn English.
Yeah.
at certain schools.
It's kind of like we kind of learn French.
And then we forget it.
Yeah, French. We learned French over here. That was our thing, until probably like year 3, and so you kind of got bonjour down, and then that's they let you go after that.
Yeah. Me chatte bleu.
Je m'appelle Pierre.
Yeah. I guess it's
cat
a
is
little bit
blue.
different with English because English is everywhere. So you can hear English in movies, music. It's everywhere. So I guess it's a little bit easier for us to pick it up as a second language as opposed to French. That not a lot of people
I got
speak
an interesting
French.
question.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you started thinking in English?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Skills.
Great, yeah.
Not
Podcast
necessarily
skills.
the first time that I started thinking in English, but I remember one night I was actually dreaming about my family, and when I woke up, I realized that they were all speaking English.
Yeah.
That was
That's
very
weird.
strange because my family does speak English, but it's not our first language. So when we're at home, we just speak Spanish. But yeah, that was like a big revelation for me. It's like, holy shit, my life's in English now. And
Yeah, right.
yeah, it was a pretty interesting moment. A bit scary, but also pretty cool as well. Just my brain functions in English.
I can't wrap my head around that. Just-
So how old were you in 2011 when you first came over to Australia?
I was here for a whole year.
No, but how old were you?
How old was I? I was 21.
21. My question is leaning towards, what's the closest you were ever to being in a Mexican gang?
Closest I've been to a
Because every time I
Mexican
think of
gang.
Mexico, I think of gangs. Like,
Yeah.
with the bandanas with the knots at the front and a little teardrop tattoo. Like, that's...
Yeah, and the very low shorts and the tattoos and
And the
I can-
flannelette shirt that's only done up at the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can totally see why. Like that's what you get on the movies. I've never really been in a gang or never really been close into being in a gang. But when I was growing up and a
Bullshit.
teenager, hey cabrón. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, just a bit of vandalism, I guess. Drunk teenagers, we used to like to
vandalism.
just take stuff from the street and
What was the worst
just
thing you ever
chaos.
did?
Yeah.
we stole a stop sign from a corner. We one night we were just walking around. We saw the stop sign. We liked it, and we decided to unscrew it, and we took it home. So
So you didn't even rip it off, you unscrewed it.
no, we actually had screws with us, like a screwdriver with us. Yeah,
That's alright.
yeah. Not very hardcore, but hey, that's as bad as I get. I'm a
Guess we have to move into music because that'll be a main topic, being band and stuff like that. When did you start playing keyboard?
I started playing keyboard at the age of 13. So the way it worked is I never had any sort of music tuition or nothing. So one day I was at a family meeting, and in the background I could hear the theme for The Exorcist. It's called Tubular Bells by Mike Oldfield, and it's a song that kind
Is
of
that the
yeah. So it sounds a little bit grim, and it's a little bit, yeah. To me it was a bit of a revelation because it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable just by listening to the music. I'm like, what the hell is that? So as soon as I got home, we had this little family keyboard, like a very crappy one, and I started playing it. Like I started figuring out just by memory, and at some stage my dad walked by. It's like, what? Like, how did you do that? I'm like, oh, I just listened to it just before, and I figured it out. It's like, well, do you realize that that's quite hard to do? I'm like,
It's
is
a
it?
skill. That's
So yeah, I just had no idea that I actually had the skill and the ability. So from then on, I just started mucking around with it, just playing songs by ear. And the first time that I actually played in a band was when I was 15. I was in some sort of youth club sort of thing. Like we just used to hang out and play sports, nothing too serious. But at some stage we did like a cover thing. We covered what was it, American Idiot by Green Day. And for some reason the main guitar player wanted to have keyboards in the background. And I said, well, I have a crappy keyboard, but I can play the keyboard. So
Yeah.
we figured out. It was really fun. I really liked it. So from then on, I've just been looking for bands and people to play with because, yeah, it just felt better to play with other people rather than just play by myself. And, yeah, it
does.
was a very interesting feeling. It just got me really into music and, yeah, kind of defined what I am now.
That's really cool. What's the story that led you? Like, how did you go from where you were to like meeting the guys from the Shakes and joining the Shakes?
It was actually really interesting. When I got to Australia, I brought my keyboard from Mexico, so I was pretty much just doing my
the
thing.
same keyboard, the shitty
No.
family
So
one, or-
I actually upgraded. I joined a couple of bands since then, and I actually started playing gigs at pubs and stuff. At Matt said before, I used to play covers at Irish pub
in an Irish
Yeah.
Irish pub in Mexico
Irish
with
thing,
no
yeah,
Irish
Irish
people.
theme pub, and it actually
you were
became
probably the
massive.
most like Irish looking person there.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
For anyone who hasn't seen Sal, he looks like just like a white guy. He looks nothing Hispanic about him.
Yeah, I blend in really well. Actually, before I moved to Australia, I was quite short, dark skin, big mustache, but I'm like I'm like a chameleon, so I try to blend in with the environment. So I slowly started to, my skin started.
I think you should bring
changing.
your mustache back.
Your mustache started
Didn't
Yeah,
have to
just
shave it,
disappearing.
It just,
It
back
just
in.
faded away. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what happened there, but it's pretty cool. But I get it all the time, man. Like people ask me all the time at work, is like, oh, you have a cool accent. Where are you from? And most of the time, I make
Canada.
them guess.
Canada.
And then Canada is number one. A lot of people say French, Russia, pretty much European countries. But no one ever guesses Mexico. So, and it's really hard to give them clues, because everything I say, if I tell them any clue about Mexico, they would know. For example, if I say, oh, think of tacos and tequila, straight away. Or Spanish. Spanish kind of narrows it down a little bit, but yeah, I always like to hear people kind of trying to guess where I'm from, and because I know they will never get it right.
So yeah, back to how it's gonna be tangents. I think there's gonna be lots of tangents.
Yeah.
How'd you meet the guys from the Shakes? How'd that story start?
So, I actually made a profile on a web page called bandmix.com. So it's like a Facebook for musicians sort of thing. So you put so you write down pretty much what instruments you play, what you're looking forward to, how many times a week you practice. Then other musicians can look at your profile and listen to what you recorded, and they can call you for interviews and whatnot. And then one day, Les, the manager of back then they used to be called Hidden Ace, contacted me, and he was like, hey, I just listened to some of your stuff. We're looking for a keyboard player. Would you be interested to come for a jam? And I said straight away yes. Straight away I said yes, and
I remember being
Yeah.
at practice and you showed up and like, who's this guy?
yeah.
His dad Les organised it, and he told us at last minute. So he's like, oh, I got a keyboardist interested in coming down and having a jam. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's very modern.
Yeah.
His style is
Yeah.
very last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bit of an advantage because the music was already on SoundCloud, so I just listened to the music, and I actually just learned the songs before the actual interview, or well, not even interview. It was just more like a jam,
Yeah.
and the guys were jamming along, and I just started playing with them, and yeah, I
With
don't.
us. With you.
Yeah, yeah, so
No,
yeah.
you're talking about us as
Really like the
Other-
third person
with
in this
them.
whole thing. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to actually see you as a third person sort of thing, because we've been playing for so long now that it just yeah, I just feel like I've been in the band for a while now, and we played a few gigs as well. So yeah, it just feels like I'm part of it now. It's hard
Yeah.
to actually put myself as a third person. But yeah, no, the jam went really well. I think. Well, Matt here won't
Yeah.
let me lie, I guess, and yeah, I guess pretty much straight away
Pretty impressed
they
straight
yeah
away.
they liked me, and they invited me to keep coming to the jams, and eventually I became a member of Hidden Ace.
Do you have any like pianists or penises
penis.
Penis.
that you are inspired mainly by?
Well, the first one was, his name is Tuomas Holopainen. He's from a band called Nightwish, and the main reason why I liked him was because
What's his name?
Tuomas Holopainen. He's from Finland, so he has a bit of a mouthful
Sounds
of a
like
name.
jalapenos. I thought,
Yeah.
I thought he was Mexican too.
No,
How do you say jalapeno in Mexican?
jalapeno.
And what's this guy's name?
Tuomas Holopainen.
It's very close.
So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it does sound like
Fine.
let's just call him jalapeno.
Yeah.
So yeah, the reason why I liked him is because he was the frontman of the band, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the very first time I saw a keyboard player as a frontman of a band, and being the main writer and music writer as well. So yeah, I just really liked that and could respect that, and so I started looking into that and started playing a few of their songs. That kind of drifted me a little bit into heavy metal. So that's kind of where my roots are at, just heavy metal and symphonic metal mainly. And that's what I played for a long time, actually. And yeah, I guess he's my main reference, mainly because he was the first one that I actually looked up to. Like, I was like, yeah, I respect this guy. I kind of want to be like him. Let's
Excuse me.
try.
I imagine he must be pretty good as well, though. I should have done some research on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have put a bit more effort into
The prep.
organising this.
All right.
Anyways,
Let's move on to your most embarrassing album.
Most embarrassing album.
The album you bought that you don't really want anyone to know that you own this album, or once did own this album.
Well, this is a bit of a hard question because piracy is pretty much legal in Mexico, so you can literally go around the street and buy pirated albums all over the street. So I don't remember which one was my first embarrassing, because you usually buy one disc. You look at the back, they had like 150 songs, MP3 format, and then you look at one or two songs that you like, and then I don't know, you play it, and there's like, this is crap. I remember one of them was like a Britney Spears cover called what was it? Yeah, so it was like the Oops, I Did It Again song, but it was like a crappy version, something about her boobs. Yeah, I didn't. Back then my English was not as good. I remember it. Yeah, it was
like
just
a parody
crap.
or something.
Yeah, so it was pretty much a parody, and I do remember I put my hand on my face, and slapped myself, and I said, "Oh shit, what did I just buy?" But no, like I guess embarrassing. I guess not.
Is there like one song out there that you'll put on in the car when no one else is around and like just jam out to, but you wouldn't play it, around your mates at a barbecue?
Yeah, I guess I do have a couple of
You have to tell us.
Yeah, you have to tell
No,
us.
I'm just
You're
thinking.
just stalling.
I'm just thinking because that's a bit of a hard question. I guess back in the day, not so much now, but I used to really like Shakira. So
Okay.
she had a bit of an album with which she had like her Arab roots came out, and I actually like that music quite a lot. So I pretty much played that album on repeat. I don't remember what the name of the album was, but it was a Shakira album.
I used to really like Shakira too. It had nothing to do with her music though.
I think the dog's standing on the mic stand, gonna knock it over.
Sorry,
We're probably getting like big boom, doom, doom.
we'll edit it out. Kind of.
Sit. Good girl.
All right.
For favorite Shakira song?
Yeah.
Hips don't lie.
I don't remember.
Waka Waka?
I really don't remember the names of the
How many songs
songs.
does she have? She has a few.
I don't know.
Aren't she one the one where she talks about her lucky that her breasts are humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains? I thought that was the best lyric I'd ever heard.
Oh, that's a little bit too modern. Yeah, that song came out like by the time
He's an old school Shakira fan. So, before she became famous. You really are a fan.
Yeah, no. By the time this song came out, I was already a bit embarrassed of
Bit over
Shakira. Yeah, I used to like when she used to sing in Spanish. I guess like those couple of first albums I listened to, it was all in Spanish. And it's interesting how you move to an English-speaking country and all these singers actually sing the same songs in English. Like Enrique Iglesias, like his original songs are actually in Spanish. So yeah, it's pretty cool, but
Which
at the
one
same
was
time
he?
it's weird.
I don't know. I know the guy. Yeah. He was really famous for a while, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He was like Ricky Martin famous.
Mm-hmm.
For the same reason.
I'm nodding. In this podcast, so.
Alright. Childhood injuries.
Oh,
You got like a really good one to talk about?
yeah, I got a bit of a funny one. So I remember I was just at home, and one day, a couple of ladies just rocked up with like a big cool bag, one of those bags that keep things nice and cool. And I asked my mom, "Oh, what are these ladies about?" I was like, "Oh, they're just gonna measure your height, pretty much." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that I'm cool with that." And as soon as they opened the bag, I saw the syringes. So I'm like, "Oh, my mom's trying to trick me. They're actually gonna vaccinate me." And I'm like, "Hell no, I'm not taking any of that." So as soon as I saw the syringes, I ran away. And instead of actually getting out of the house, I tried to climb on the roof, up the ceiling.
Oh yeah, that's a smart thing.
It looked pretty badass until the very last ledge. I could not grab it. So I didn't grab the ledge, and I fell from the second floor of my house. Fell on top of the dog's kennel, and I actually bounced off the kennel and on the ground. And yeah, I remember the ladies came straight after me, and they saw me on the ground lying. They saw me fall, and they just started me questions like, "Oh, are you alright? Are you okay? What happened?" I just fell, and yeah, I guess I was just scared of the syringes. I didn't want to get
Do you think that falling on the dog's kennel hurt more than just getting a needle?
No, because they didn't give me my vaccination. I got away with it because according to them I was injured. So they decided to leave me alone, and I was pretty content about that. They just let me be, and yeah, I consider that a bit of a success story.
Did you end up getting vaccinated?
I'm pretty sure I must have.
Still to this day, unvaccinated.
I must have been
The
vaccinated, but
poster
not
boy
on
for
that
those-
occasion.
Those angry middle-aged moms. Yeah, we're gonna stop for a quick commercial break and force feed you some of the Shakes music. Hopefully one that we haven't sold all the fucking rights to, so it doesn't get taken off YouTube.
So catch me if you can. Hey honey, you know I ain't jumping. Want sugar? I ain't gotta share anything. Hey honey, one thing you gotta understand, I keep running. So catch me if you can.
And we're back.
And that was Catch Me If You Can by The Shakes.
That was very radio presenter of you.
Any more questions for Mr. Cordero? No?
What was it like coming
That's it.
here for your first summer?
First summer.
Well, everyone in Australia is whinging and complaining about how hot it is. Were you equally as warm, or were you kind of laughing, wearing a jacket?
Actually, this is a bit of misconception. I come from a place where the weather doesn't get as nearly as hot as it does here, and it doesn't get as cold either. So it's pretty comfortable. So my first summer, I do remember it was a little bit of a shock, but it was actually just part of the experience, really, just traveling and being, hey, I'm in Australia now, cool. I guess it was just part of the whole experience of being here, that the fact that it was actually pretty warm. And yeah, not to me, I actually loved it at first. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I can actually go to the beach sort of thing and
Yeah.
enjoy that sort of stuff, because back home I don't really live very close to the beach. So
How close
yeah.
to the nearest beach?
about 3-hour drive, so it was a bit
Yeah,
of a yeah, it's a bit of effort, and yeah.
Fair enough.
Just going to show how little I know about Mexico.
Yeah. What's it? I can't even think of anything to ask you.
Do you have any family members that have successfully made it over the border?
Um,
Maybe not say my name, but
well, not illegally.
Oh,
If that's what
that's
you're
boring.
asking. I'm the pioneer in my immediate family, just all my siblings, and my parents. Like, my parents have been overseas, but they never lived overseas. I'm the
Mhm.
very first one. One of my aunties went to the States, but it was just work. Her husband got a contract in the States, and they've been living there for a few years now. But yeah, none of the crossing the border illegally.
Yeah.
Like, come on, the gringos are behind us, sort of thing. Like, no, it's not. It's not part of the.
We can't say
I-
that.
I-
Or you
yeah.
can.
you can say it's not racist if he
like-
says it.
Oh, I say it all the time.
You say it all
You
the
know,
time.
it's fine. As it's not offensive. There's a lot of words that actually offend people. That they're harmless words. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed
Should
to
I
say
be
them.
offended
but-
by gringo? No,
You're
I don't.
white.
Yeah, I don't feel like it. I don't feel offended.
Yeah, and gringo is also like a word that Americans get offended by it more than anyone else.
Well, it
Doesn't
has
it-
some
doesn't it
negative
mean-
connotations,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
doesn't it mean white American?
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty much the way we call Americans. Kind of, it's like in retaliation for them calling us beaners.
Yeah.
But if they call me a beaner, I'm like, I'm alright with that.
I
I
don't know.
actually like beans, so there's
You're
it's
Mexican.
not a big deal. I don't mind it.
I had a question for you, but I completely forgot. Dead air.
That,
I guess back to the racism thing and being in Australia. I've heard that in Australia a lot of people are considered racist, but to be
I
honest,
think we are. I think like on a whole, we're a very racist nation.
To a degree, though, I think it's a little bit more linked towards humor rather than actually hurting people.
We're not burning crosses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's definitely something there.
Yeah, yeah. But for example, I remember once I went to this pub in Australia, and this old bloke was after a gig. This old bloke was like, "Oh, your music was awesome." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." At some stage, he picked up my accent. He asked me, "Oh, where are you from?" And I straight away I said Mexico. I knew he was drunk. He was not. If he guessed, he would probably just, he would have never get it. So I was just straight away Mexico, and he said, "Oh, Mexico." He looked at me, pointed at me, and said, "Brazilian women." So I was like,
What?
That's, I guess that's this right continent, but it's not quite there yet.
Not
So,
anywhere really near.
It's like calling a Russian person Asian.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, technically.
And it just felt like he was praising Mexico for their Brazilian women, but yeah, that was like, doesn't make sense. But yeah, mate, thanks for that.
Yeah, I would have just taken it. Be like, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. I completely forgot it before. Your brother, he works in a recording studio in Mexico, doesn't he?
Yeah, back in Mexico.
Yeah,
he does,
he's sent me a few things, and I've seen his Facebook and all that. He's like, did he build the studio or?
Well, he built it, but it doesn't belong to him. He was in charge of getting all the gear together and putting it there.
Can we name
and
it?
he actually runs it.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
What's your brother's name? And
His
what's
name
the
is
studio called?
Jose Antonio Cordero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of say it with a bit of an accent. I'm a bit embarrassed. His actual
Shout
name is
out to
Jose
Jose.
Antonio
Yeah.
Cordero. Yeah.
How's it
So,
going, bro?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure
Like and share the hell out of this.
Yeah.
what the name of the studio is, but yeah, he's been all over the place actually, working for different people in the scene.
In the scene, so music vocab.
Yeah.
Do they have like a particular style that comes out of their studio, or are they a bit of
A little bit of everything, but mainly it's pretty much Latino music.
mariachi bands?
Latino, not mariachi, but
Yeah, the one.
not like that. It's more like it's like hipster Latino bands. It's hard to explain if you've never listened to one of them.
I don't know. I think like Daddy Yankee and Pitbull.
Oh no, that's definitely not it.
No,
That's
okay.
definitely not it. It would be. It's kind of like a mix. It's hard to explain. Think In Excess, just Latino.
That's a really hard thing to imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you something later.
Oh, okay. So when was the last time you saw your rents?
I saw them Christmas 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Mexico this year actually.
Yeah. When are you going?
Yeah, not sure yet. Not
Not sure
sure.
yet.
As soon as work quiets down a little bit, I'll figure out a way to get there. The biggest issue is gonna be for me to get my American visa.
Yeah.
But,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, I'm just transiting through, so it shouldn't be an issue. But
Not
me
a
being
goddamn
Mexican,
beaner coming into that country.
Yeah.
You know, if you try to go there, if Trump gets in, if Trump becomes president, he's not going to let you in at all.
What are you
it's gonna
talking
make
about?
a flight so much longer.
Oh, either that, or he'll let you in and then he'll make you build a wall.
yeah, but I actually fit in the criteria of white people, so I reckon if I can just blend in.
We'll help you
Kind
with
of
your
look-
Australian accent for like the next
Yeah.
6 months. So when
Yeah.
you go there, you're like, no, I'm just Australian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey mate, what's going on?
In under the radar, you'll be fine. So that's cool. All right. So, what are you doing for work at the moment?
At the moment, I'm working at a place called Glenworth Valley Outdoor Adventures. What it's called? an
Hashtag
adventure guide. Yeah,
promo. They should
Promo.
pay us.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Glenworth Valley.
Just don't even tell them about it. Yes. What are you doing out there?
A little bit of everything actually. There's a few activities in the valley going on. There's quad biking, abseiling, kayaking. There's something called laser skirmish, which is actually pretty neat. It's like a laser tag just in the bush, so it's actually pretty fun to play. It's interesting. It's really cool. They also do a Bear Grylls adventure kind of survival course, which is pretty neat actually.
Does that go over like a weekend or?
There's two different ones. There's a 24-hour one and there's a 3-hour course, which they show you the basics of survival, like lighting a fire, purifying water. There's an abseil involved. It's heaps fun. It's good stuff.
What do you? What's your main purpose there?
My main role, I guess, I do a little bit of quad biking. Also, I do laser skirmish, and lately I've been doing a little bit of abseiling as well. And I did my first Bear Grylls course just last weekend, so that was pretty exciting.
But you ran it, or you
I was the second guide,
participated?
so I was just providing
backup information?
support. Yeah, just a little bit of
It's like
support.
Mexican
managing
information.
people,
Like
yeah.
you get heaps of water from a cactus.
How to survive in the desert, gringos, follow me and I'll tell you my
Where
survival
to
skills.
find, where to find tequila.
How to run across the
Teach you how to
border.
distill your own tequila.
Create your own tequila. That's cool. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome job. I won't lie, and pretty awesome people that work there as well. So yeah, I couldn't be happier actually.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, I guess we'll put a song at the end of this.
Yeah. What do you want to play?
Well, I think we should put down Southeast Asian Nightmare.
You reckon?
Southeast Asian Nightmare? Southeast Asian
Yeah,
Nightmare.
we're
Yeah.
talking about it. So
We were
might
talking
as
about
well, show it to you.
Yeah, so we'll put that on. Thanks for coming on, Sal.
That's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
I've been Lynn Gannon.
Cheers for coming. I'm Matt Sturgis.
And I'm Salvador Cordero.
Thank you for listening to Remedial Records. We'll be with you again soon, hopefully.
Go to our website www.remedial-records.com.
.com. All right, we'll just fade in the music here.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Catch you later.
I was strung out for days, shifting through the sands of this neon-lit cocaine haze. Numb don't stop my thoughts, turning into bad decisions as I fight and fuck my way through the bars of Bangkok. I'd rather be rugged up at the northern lights, making love in Cancun nights, except I'm running from my shadow, looking for content and satisfaction. So when push comes to shove, I'm a glutton for pain, I can't get enough. So give me all you got, at least I'm getting some of you, it'll have to do. Should I write to you and say that I'm doing well? Should I write to you and tell the truth that I'm running here? Trying to figure out if I'm running scared. Don't walk away from me, baby. I only want to be yours. I lucid dreaming in my Southeast Asian nightmare. Should I write another line and call you up again? Or will I fall into a world where I find a means to an end? Will you set the pace? I'm allowed to want you, 'cause I feel like I've drilled holes in this boat. I'm still a predator, preying on myself, yet can't seem to gloss the monster in my sights. I'm still a marionette, trying to break free of your strings, finding solace in the sheets of a stranger's bed. There's no need to pretend that I don't wanna kiss you when the bottle's empty. I miss you, I wanna drown in you one last time, if you don't mind. Should I write to you and say that I'm doing well? Should I write to you and tell the truth that